Before we get started with training, I want to go ahead and take you through a few key topics and issues that I want to discuss with you in regards to bands so that I know you're going to be safe when you're using them with your clients or when you're using them with yourself. First of all, I want to keep in mind, remember, the band is an elastic tool and it doesn't become a productive resistance or an assistance until it becomes and has tension on it. When you're going ahead and using a band, you always want to maintain tension on the band. Therefore, the band will stay in place if it's attached to your body. It will also continue to give you that feedback that you're looking for from the band. So keeping tension on it so that when you have it hooked on and you're doing a lot of the exercises we're showing you, there should always be a subtle tension on it to make sure that you are maintaining band tension but also getting full effect of the band in regards to a training device. The other thing is, make sure that you push through the band, you pull through the band. You know, a band has an ascending resistance, so as you go ahead and incorporate that resistance, you need to make sure you finish the movement. So make sure that you push through the band, pull through the band. That allows you to get that proprioceptive feedback to stabilize in that periphery that we always talk about. Make sure you monitor the band angles, especially when you have them attached. So when we do attachment-based exercises, I want you to make sure that the angle of the band is such that it's being applied to the body in a very comfortable manner. You know, if a band is rubbing on your body awkwardly, it's feeling uncomfortable rubbing on your body, if it's sliding up or sliding down on you, chances are the angle that you have it attached onto or that you're using is either too low or too high, resulting in that. So play around with that angle a little bit and make sure that you really check that out, because a lot of times that makes a big difference in regards to how the band is going to function for you when you go ahead and get rolling with it. In regards to hands, a lot of people, when they grasp the band, they have problems with their hands because the band is only a ½ inch wide. Now again, we're going to use a lot of smaller bands here. We're going to use red, we're going to use orange a lot. Well, those bands are only a ½ inch wide, so if you do have problems with it on your hands, you can go to using a glove, like an exercise glove or something like that to pad your hand. But the other thing is to keep in mind is as you're putting it on your hand, you want to make sure that it's on the palm of your hand, not on the fingertips, and definitely not riding up onto the thumb so that you're overloading that CMC joint. Keeping it on the palm, keeping it nice and firmly on the palm will a lot of times alleviate and eliminate a lot of those problems with hands in regards to the band pushing on the hands. Same thing true with the waist. If the band bothers your waist when you have it around your waist, you can go to using a simple belt and hooking the band onto the belt if you wish. Just a couple things to eliminate those issues. But a lot of times, if you have problems with the band against your hands, against your waist, there's solutions for it. It's not the band's fault. It's just a matter of making sure we get you the solution so you can eliminate that problem. The last thing I wanted to talk to you about is hooking the band onto the dowel. Now, we're going to do a few exercises where you're going to see us hook the band to a dowel, and I think it's important that I show you how that's done. What you do is you take the band and you roll it back onto itself. Now, what that creates is it creates two loops. Now what I'm going to do is take the dowel and go through both loops. Now when I get through it, you're going to see that now the band is looped onto the dowel. Now the band loops over top of the two bands here. So as I go ahead and I turn the dowel and I turn the band, I literally can lock the band onto the dowel so that when it starts pulling on it, it literally cinches up onto the dowel and stays nice and stable. So that's important when you go ahead and use the dowel band training that we're going to show you. Make sure that you have locked the band on firmly. The one thing you don't want to do is you don't want to go ahead and just lay the band over top of the dowel and do the exercise, because the band will come sliding off the end. Once again, let me just show you. You roll it back, you form the two loops, you hook the band through, and when you take your hand off, you'll see how the band is going to lock right onto the dowel. Hook it on, hook the band onto the other attachment area, and you're good to go. Just want to make sure you understand that. So there are just a few things that you want to make sure that you have, the information, you have that, so that you can go ahead and make the band training that we're about to show you a lot more comfortable, a lot more efficient, and a lot more productive.